Hey, I'm LaRie.
And I'm Nick B.
And this is Dirty Roses Podcast, where two girls from the City of Roses discuss love, lust, and perception.
And we got two very different perspectives.
That's right, because my girl Nick B is a long-term habitual dater.
Oh, for real? That's what we're doing?
I mean, girl, it's facts.
Okay, you're right. And my girl LaRie was tied down and now newly single and don't know a thing about dating.
Dang, well, here we are taking our friends' dating stories
and having real life conversations.
Dirty Roses Podcast starts now. Welcome to the next episode of Dirty Roses Podcast. I'm your girl, LaRie.
And I'm Nick B.
That was a little delayed, sis.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? Oh, it was delayed on mine. And I feel like you were like the news anchor on one of those sites where you're like, thank you, Brad, for telling us about this new thing. But today we are yes. But today we are joined by two amazing professionals that I love dearly. I got my homeboy, aka Stackin Kickz, but y'all might know him professionally as David, Vid, whatever I call him. Mm-hmm. He is the owner of Stackin Kickz, newly renovated in Lloyd Center. I love it. Yes, I love it. He's got his whole brand on right now because he's plugging. Yeah. He's at always at work, right? Yes. And I got my homegirl, my real person, my real buddy. We making videos, y'all. She had me throwing ones the other day. Yes. She is the creator of Mylani vegan organic hair care products, Chadowboxx, Salon, all hair care magician. I mean, everything about hair care she is. My girl Charlisa, Chadowboxx Harris. Yes, thank you for joining us. Now, as you can tell, We've got some really great entrepreneurs in the building, which kind of leads us to our topic today, which is dating for potential, aka dating entrepreneurs, or also dating entrepreneurs. And as always, we start with the story. We talk about something that we heard from a friend, that someone told us about, a listener, someone shared with us. It could be one of our stories. You never know where it came from. So today's story, we got girl meets guy. I feel like it's always girl meets guy. I don't know why, but it's the situation that we have. Girl meets guy. Guy has all these big dreams. He's kind of like that, I need that get rich quick scheme type of person, but he's always got these ideas. Very little follow through, but they're really great ideas. And she's supportive of that. She's really encouraged and motivated by his passion for what he wants to do, even if it changes regularly. So she's supporting it. She's working full time. She's taking care of, their situation at home. And he is chasing dreams. He keeps a job every now and then, but it's not secure or stable. He also quits very frequently because he is trying to make one of his goals and one of his ideas work out. After a while, they kind of start to battle over money because, of course, finances are always a big issue in relationships, and it does not work out. They end up breaking up. He starts dating somebody, and it actually ends up being somebody she used to be close with. So that was another layer of the story. But one of his ideas actually takes off. And he actually starts doing really well. She starts to get really bitter. And not only being bitter, but now you're dating somebody that I was cool with, my friend, and you're taking care of her with the money that you're making from this idea when I supported you for quite a few years, and nothing came of it. So he kind of shitted on her and was like, well, you should have stayed with me, and it sucks to be you kind of a situation. Like, there was no here, thanks for helping me out, thanks for supporting me. It was kind of like, you should have stuck around, and sucks for you. So that's how we got to this topic. It's kind of like dating for potential. You see the potential in somebody, right? You see the potential in the person that you're dating or that you are interested in. You're motivated, you're encouraged, you feel what they feel, but how far is too far? And then on the flip side, when you're dating an entrepreneur, when the person's ideas do take off, how do you date an entrepreneur? Because that chasing that dream never stops. And I hear a lot of stories about dating does not work for entrepreneurs because they don't have the capacity to give what they need to be put into them for their dream. So how does that all work? I'll start with Nick. Have you been in this scenario? Have you had a situation like this where you've dated for potential?
Absolutely. But I would say that me dating for potential was pretty much when I was younger. I think as I got older, I stopped dating for potential and I started dating for what I want now. I stopped looking for projects. Dating for potential when I was younger, it was okay that you didn't have the car, you're still staying at mom's house. But today, we are whole grown-ups. And I'm like, at 40, if we haven't figured it out by now, right, I just can't. And so on the flip side of that, today, I mean, I don't necessarily seek the bag, However, I'm aware of, you know, kind of someone's earnings and what they have, what they can offer. And that presents its own problem in itself. Like you said, you know, the capacity. So, you know, one gentleman I was seeing, he easily made over 175. I mean, I know that was his starting pay based on what I was able to put together. And he's a busy man.
He was doing your due diligence. He was investigating.
Out here, there's ways to look things up depending on what they do for a living, right? So just knowing what that starting pay was, I was like, okay, yeah, he's definitely established, and that's wonderful. You're doing things, but I felt like, because his job was so demanding, there was no time to build a relationship. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, you go after these ambitious people, but then finding the time, because rightfully so, they're making their money. They don't necessarily always have the time. So that was my experience with both. How does
that translate for you as entrepreneurs? Like being the person that had the potential at one point, because at some point you were starting, right? So you weren't already established. So how did that work when someone was dating you, or have you dated somebody who you felt like had potential and it was kind of like, this is not panning out?
I mean, that was really, at the end of the day, what made my marriage, and then ultimately what ended my marriage was the fact that I was the person with potential whenever we first got together. I was still in biddy school when we first got together. Okay. So he was the one that, you know, had the bag, and he was able to like support me throughout my journey. You know, we both had our dreams for what we wanted to do. He had his aspirations as well. The problem is that after a while we started distancing because I started doing and he was still dreaming. You know what I mean? So like despite any other issues that we had in our relationship, ultimately it wasn't going to work because, you know, it became...
He had no action plan.
He had no action plan, and like, you can only tell me what you about to do for so long.
Right. Was there a level of jealousy because you were actually doing?
Oh, it became to where we were all out beefing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like after a while, like we became like real, like, you know, to where it was just a lot of contention that was there. Because like, I mean, even whenever I would expand my salon, you know, I started out with a super small spot. I had, you know, I started my business from getting locked out of somewhere.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I had an email at 3:00 in the morning, and by 9:00 I had the keys to my first spot. So,
wow.
You know, but I think that any unfortunate circumstance that happened for me, he almost was kind of like rejoicing in it, because then it would be like, okay, see, I see you got a little stick in your wheel. Okay, yeah, now you need me, type of thing. You know what I mean? And I always overcame those situations. So he was
hoping for your failure.
He definitely did. Like, I mean, it was outright. Like, I would be there. I mean, I was, you know, still nursing my son and leaking at 3:00 in the morning, and up at my first salon space painting the walls. You know what I'm saying? Like, no help.
Right.
You know, type of situation. So that's what ultimately didn't work.
Yeah. And for you?
I think that, like, when I first started and it didn't take off yet, I think the tough part is just the process. Like, you don't give up on it, but sometimes they might.
Right.
Because they don't understand that, you know, it's a lot of patience involved in being successful in entrepreneurship, you know, a lot of patience. And so, you know, people do struggle with holding on, you know, they do struggle. They have questions, they have doubts. You know, but the girl that I was dating when I started Stackin Kickz 12 years ago, we're still cool, and she got a lot of love and respect for me.
Does she wear Stackin Kickz?
She got a couple pieces, not a lot though, not a lot.
It wasn't one of them things where she.
Do you think she has FOMO?
Huh?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you think she's missed out now that she sees you, that you've definitely done what you said you were going to do?
I don't know about all that. I mean, I know she's proud, and she still talks about. I mean, I don't think she liked men very much. The man she had after me.
Wait, she didn't like men?
Well, I mean, now I don't think. I think now she has a problem with men, because I think she's clear. She's been clear with me that I've been one of the most honest and loyal men that she's had. Because after that, she had extremely worse, and she's been destroyed since then. But and she's like, you know, and she. But, you know, she still got a lot of respect for me. You know, she always talks about being there, and, you know, she's in some of my early pictures back in 2010 and stuff like that.
We're about to start looking in a second.
But her face,
right. What's that page now?
Her face ain't on my page, but her silhouette is on one of my designs. From way back in 2010.
I'm boy.
You can dig though.
We're gonna start matching bodies up.
She said she needs royalties. She's gonna start asking for royalties on that.
Right.
No, for real.
This ain't that $20 Nike swoosh fee, right? You know what we're talking about.
But the other part of your question, as far as me dating a woman with potential, I've never really dated an entrepreneur. I probably should, probably be easier for me. But I've always dated women with jobs and that had 9 to 5s, and it's just it doesn't work well for me.
And why doesn't it work?
They don't really know the pressure. They don't understand the mindset. They don't understand that you can't turn this off.
Right.
Sometimes they just want it off. And it just doesn't work like that when you're in the stage, because especially if you're successful. I mean, there's so much energy coming in.
Right.
And if a man or a woman don't know what it's like to be right in the middle of that process, they're not going to understand it, and they might find it offensive.
Gotcha.
And they might find it as a direct affront on them, as if you don't really care, but they don't understand the pressure outside of, what you deal with outside the house.
Gotcha. So I think with that being said, do you feel like there's ever going to be a point in time where you will have the capacity to turn it off?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
okay.
Well, what's turn it off though? I mean, I
know, like, for entrepreneurs, it's like a 24-hour gig. Like, you can never not be working. But is there going to be a time and space where you are at a level that you can say, okay, I can cut back. I can now invest more energy into a person because I'm where I need to be, and it's sustainable, it's growing, but I don't need to do the growing so much by myself.
And you can also delegate some of those responsibilities that you take on to someone else that you trust. I guess that could also alleviate some of the non-stopness, the always being on because you're your own show.
I think it's a matter of boundaries. Like, for me, I had a lot of evaluating that I had to do, because I really did. Once I did get to a place that I felt like I wanted to be able to date again, then I had to check myself and was like, you're not creating the type of setting that if you do want to date somebody and actually have something with some substance, that it's going to work, because he's definitely not going to feel cool about taking, backseat to your business, or you don't have the time, or you're too burnt out because you're going full throttle in your business. Right. So I had to put certain things in place as far as just really having boundaries. So that way, this is my work time. This is what I'm doing, but now I got time to focus on you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it just took me to kind of chin check myself a little bit.
Gotcha. And does that impact your business at all? Like, you setting those boundaries?
Not really, because I mean, I feel like I grinded for long enough. You know what I mean? Like, and the hustle still doesn't stop. But it's just, there's a time and place for everything. It's not the chaos. And I think that was just for my own mental health, really. I had to prioritize myself, because you will. We don't have somebody that tells us when it's time to clock out. Right. So it's real easy for us to get so, just fascinated with the next level. We're never satisfied. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're always like, okay, but then now I gotta go. Right. So for me, I was just like, be okay with, grinding, doing what you have to do, but you also, you deserve that same type of dedication to yourself.
Got it.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm the last person in the Lloyd Center now.
What?
I'll be in there till 8, 9 o'clock, man. I don't be ready to leave. I'll be the last store open, just trying to do stuff inside and processing. So, but I can tell you this. The times my business have been unsuccessful, it's been a long journey. And there's been a couple of times where it wasn't working at all. Both of those times I was in relationships. Okay? Oh. And so it seems that they run different, and they run in different directions. Gotcha. And so it takes a certain type of human being, I think, to be able to handle dating an entrepreneur, especially one that's popular and well known, one that commands a lot of attention and a lot of energy from the community. Right. And me being a male, apparently I'm oblivious, right?
Yes, because we had that conversation before. Yes.
Yeah, and so I'm oblivious. I really do believe in what I'm doing. I really do work. So when I do business with women, I mean, I just see it as a business transaction. I don't see it, but women know women. So if
they like, I'm buying this shirt because maybe he can take me on a date later.
Right. Like, we pick it up and he just be like, you didn't see that?
We be like, what? She just wanted a shirt.
But she spent $1,500.
She wanted more than
she wanted that shirt to be on the floor after.
Right.
But like, if I'm at, I could be at a pop up, my lady could be with me, and I could do a transaction with a woman, and she'd be like, you didn't see that? She was clearly flirting with you, and I'm like, what?
Oops, so
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to have that capacity, right? Because a relationship is either going to be your motivation or your distraction.
Yeah, that's facts.
And that really is like, you really got to be ready for I want my biggest thing is that, like I said, whoever I'm dating, you got to be my biggest fan.
Right. Right.
Period. You got to be hard for go just as hard for my cause as I do.
Well, I think saying that, what you said, and then going back to what David said about he said it might be best if you date an entrepreneur. Like to me, and when I hear that, I feel like that doesn't sound like it works because like they understand
off
you,
balance.
but like y'all are both pulling. Like would that really work?
Yeah.
Like does that?
It could, but I mean, it depends on if you're an entrepreneur and you low key are like got a little hater in you. You know what I'm saying? Because
gotcha.
Because I mean, I did date an entrepreneur. That was my thing too. I was like, maybe I need to date somebody who. You know what I mean? He has his own business, so he'll understand.
Right.
And he was like a high key hater. Like it was a big me, little you type.
Not even low key.
No, high key, like loud and proud.
Well, I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Damn.
you do.
Damn it.
So he was a high key hater because then it had to be big me, little you. Now we're competing over who's gonna be more popping, who's you know what I'm saying, whose bag is bigger, and you know what I'm saying. It was a lot of like trying to minimize. You know, because I come into the picture letting it be known, like, listen, look, baby, I'm popping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is what I do.
Yeah, this is what I do, you know? So, but I'm going to sweat you too. You know what I mean? I'm going to definitely encourage you, and whenever it's not reciprocated. So it could work, but they got to be secure in what they got going on
Gotcha.
You know, me personally, like, as a man, like, I pride myself in masculinity. Right.
Okay.
And so what that means is that my number one goal has to be purpose. It can't be women. It can't be relationships. The times that I did that, it took away from my purpose and I wasn't achieving anything. And so I started to realize over time, okay, I thought I wanted a relationship. I thought that's what I was supposed to have. You know, you're not supposed to be single out here.
Right.
You know, because that's what society have you think. But I learned that I'm actually more masculine than maybe I thought, you know. And so my goal is always it's always been my purpose. And I think that's something that is difficult if you're dealing with a woman that's actually divinely feminine. Then her goal should be the flow of constant love in her life.
Right.
And so we actually have different goals. And so the only way that I think it would even make sense is, you know, I think it's selfish. First of all, I mean, sometimes the way that we as masculine men want purpose first, and I mean that's our goal. Okay. And we're trying to have a relationship at the same time. I think it's somewhat selfish, but I also think that a man like that, you know, I hate to say the word duped, but a man like that can sort of be, he can be. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I want to say tricked. I want to say duped, but he can be backdoored into a healthy relationship. Okay. I think the woman, in my case, would have to be a lot more strategic in knowing who she's dealing with and work me in the back end through support of my purpose.
So ladies, keep buying those shirts
and put me
keep buying the shirts.
Put me in a position where it's like, okay, now I don't want to do this without you.
Exactly.
You know, like I hate to make it sound like you got to trick me, but in the end,
but that is part
tie
of
yourself into
feminine.
my purpose and make me feel like I can't do it.
David needs to be finessed.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I think ultimately what he's also saying is like, for you to always be in your masculine, you know what I'm saying, and for you to always be within your purpose, what a person really does crave inadvertently is that you're craving your soft space.
Gotcha.
So he would need somebody who, like, whether he realizes it or not, that's their soft space.
Gotcha.
And that, because that's ultimately what, you know, me as a woman who is an entrepreneur, who is definitely, you know, dominant, but also, you know what I mean? Like, I know what it means to be in my divine feminine as well.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, so my place is, I need my soft space as well. I need you to be that person that I don't got to be so strong. Because I'm not going to compete with you over who's going to be the man in the relationship.
Right.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, it also sounds like you guys both need people that are coming to you full, they're whole, no broken people. Because with your jobs, you have enough that you're working on that you're not in a place to then work on a person.
Exactly.
They got to come to you already in a place where they can nurture what you have going on without jealousy, without feeling like they're being left behind simply because you have additional obligations.
No build bears.
Yeah, that could be tough. And there's unfortunately a lot of broken people. Is it right? No, nobody's still staying at home.
Yeah, right, exactly. Not only that, but you know what I'm saying? I believe strongly in therapy. So, you know what I mean? You got to be a healed person, period.
That part.
And I think because entrepreneurship is an ongoing self-development journey, you know what I'm saying? Like, as you grow as a person, you know what I'm saying? We're not the same people we were 12 years ago.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, you know, so as you're growing in your own self-development journey, you also, I mean, you're seeking different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're very mindful of the people who have not grown.
Right.
Right. Right.
So kind of like in a catch-22 almost, like where you needed somebody to support your potential. On the flip side is now you're in a space where you really don't have the capacity to support somebody else's potential. Is that
potential?
Potential. No. I want to support your wholeness. I want to support who you are.
Right.
Potential was when we were much younger.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
Potential was when you're building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My thing is that I definitely am down for the climb because like we're not happy with like exactly where we are.
Right.
I'm like anti-complacency. So I definitely want someone I can grow with, but you can't be down here.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And expect that we're gonna grow and build together.
While I'm climbing, I gotta pull you up too.
Yeah, I don't got time to catch up. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, definitely if you're here for the building together without the sabotage, absolutely.
And I don't mind building at all, you know, but a big part of my decision making is what were you doing single before you met me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like,
I think a lot of, I think more women than men, you know, completely block out that this dude was already not doing nothing before you met him.
Right.
Like, you know, and now you want, like, you know, women got to pay attention to that. You know, look at what a man doing on his own before you think he finna lead your life.
We put them red flags on the golf course and was like taking shots. Like, this is
this ain't Mario Kart.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's real.
Yeah. No, I imagine it goes both ways in the sense that what was he doing before? What was she doing before too? You know.
Yeah. You have to be perfect.
It's just the whole.
I feel like there's a such thing as being purposefully single. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some people that are single by accident and single because, you know what I'm saying, they're just so damaged that just like how you say, like you keep going into these like endless situations and it's not going to be fruitful because you still working on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there are people who have deliberately taken that step back, you know what I'm saying, made sure that they're working on them, made sure that they're, you know what I'm saying, grinding, doing everything that they need to do. So whenever somebody comes into the picture, I've got something to provide of value. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to we're just here.
Right.
I'm not looking for companionship at this point in my life. I'm looking for partnership.
Right.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that if I hadn't been single as long as I have, I wouldn't be the man I am today. You know, I was able to discover myself, break myself down, figure out who I was, and more importantly, who I wasn't. And I think, you know, like Charlisa said, like a lot of times when people are purposeful single like that, it's a big part of knowing what you don't want. Right. You know, and people and a lot of people like you can't be single and give relationship advice, but you actually can because people single people that are actually, you know, dateable, got their stuff together, mind, spirit, soul, business. I mean, it just means that they have a certain standard for how they interact with the opposite sex. You know what I mean? Like, and it may have not always been like that, but as we go through a process where we forget about potential because we're now mature and we've had our battles with potential before, you know, you realize that you got to accept people the way they are. You know, we don't do potential no more. Either you are what I want or you are not, but I'm not waiting on nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's real.
So was there so for somebody who is younger, like, so maybe for your younger self in dating somebody with potential, right? Like, so you're talking about going back 10, 15 years, whatever. Would there be a time limit that you put on somebody reaching their goal before you say, this is not going to work for me?
They lifelong goal? What do you mean they?
I don't know. Like, you know, we talk about.
I mean, goals change too.
Yeah,
so.
They do.
Yeah.
I think just my thing is you know, don't fall in love with words. And I think that's what the younger us have done.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's fine if you have dreams and aspirations, you're doing the vision boards and things like that. But, like, are you walking?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, so if I'm not seeing any progress and it's still just talk and you're just aspiring to do things, then I think you have to be mindful of that. For me, I mean, I wasn't necessarily... like mindful of all of that because like I say before, I was just seeking for companionship, so I didn't know I didn't even know me yet.
Gotcha.
So it was okay for certain things that I got into, and then as you're growing and as you're striving, that's when you start seeing like, okay, this isn't going to work because I'm actually checking myself, I'm actually building myself. So I just think just paying attention and seeing because there are the happily ever after stories,
right.
You know what I'm saying,
right.
where they were able to build together. We was
start
both
from the bottom.
Yeah, we really started from the bottom.
Yeah.
We was both raggedy,
right.
and now here we go. But we
started from the bottom. Now we here.
Now we here.
But the cool thing about that is they probably got together for the right reasons.
Right.
And what I think about relationships is either you do it for the right reason or you don't. You know, like we can both be up and coming, but if we hear based off our connection with each other, spiritual and mental, then we can build together. If we hear because we think we're gonna be successful together, then that's a different type of a different type of value system.
Yeah.
Do you think people have dated you for like an opportunity?
I was just gonna ask that. Get out my head.
Oh, for real?
girl.
Yeah, because
she got the show now.
Right.
right.
For like the come up kind of,
Yeah, I mean sometimes, and I think that could be true in a lot of spaces. I don't really see it that way because, like, I don't really believe in like popularity, and I don't believe I'm up there where people should be dating me for that reason. You know what I'm saying?
But you do believe in ulterior motives, though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sometimes people just want to steal the
that
energy.
and status.
They do.
You know?
Yeah. Well, that and status,
no one
especially
cared about
in
them.
Portland.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, especially in Portland, when our Black community is small and we're being successful, and so essentially you become a way to get on. Your relevance makes somebody else relevant, and absolutely. I feel like there's probably a lot of that going on too. Just the pool is small, so women looking for successful men. I mean, and successful Black women too. It's already a small pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm the most difficult, so
Right.
women hate my guts out here.
They hate mine too. It's all right.
Wait, the women hate you too?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Because you know
It's
why?
a skill. I mean,
Because
Good at it.
because we got boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
once you've been doing this so long, you have to develop really solid boundaries to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
If I didn't have boundaries, again, I wouldn't be the man. If I dated every woman that thought they wanted to date me, I'd be through out here.
Right.
You know?
Does it get lonely when you start setting those boundaries because you're finding who you are, you've established that things are not what you want and you're protecting your space and your energy? Do you find that you get lonely in that space?
You just find that you get alone. I think sometimes I think there's random times where I wake up and think like, should I be laying next to somebody, or
right.
You know, like you don't really you don't know if you should be, but then you also know that
That's why you need 15 pillows on your bed, David.
Hello, right, exactly.
Right, all between my legs.
My little fork that I be having on the side is substitutes for
all you need is 2 flat pillows.
Nah, man, that's too close to prison for me. No.
2 flat tea bags.
Not tea bags. No.
Brown? No, I'm kidding.
Not the tea bags.
Hilarious.
But lonely though. That's a good question. Sometimes I feel like it shouldn't be like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I communicate with people. Like I don't ever talk to anybody, but it's I just keep my boundaries with everybody because it's just safe for me. I really haven't met a woman that really understand actually what kind of man I really am.
Right.
I know what it looks like on the outside, and I know where I'm from. I know how I dress, but people don't really understand. Like, this dude's different. Like this dude, I'm weird. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm weird in a good way. But if you're not ready to open your mind to seeing a man vibrate on a different level, then you're not going to understand me. And I got to put my boundaries up. So, you know, being alone is a lot safer for a person like me. You know, once you break yourself down, you know what you can't handle. Yeah. It's not about what I want and what I don't. It's about understanding what my energy really just can't handle.
Got it.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, you do like get very comfortable with your own like solitude. You know what I mean, and being in your own space, and that throws people off too because I always tell people I'm an extroverted introvert. Like people see me being like all out and things like that. But like my comfort zone and my safe space is really being by myself.
Yeah,
got it.
Definitely.
You know, and being okay. I'm totally fine with my thoughts. Like quarantine was like the best time of my life.
It was magical.
You know what I'm saying? It was amazing because I had a reason to not have to people. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like a lot of introverts flourished during the COVID time because they were able to really, they didn't have to make excuses for why they wanted to be by themselves.
Businesses.
Right.
We're able to recharge. Absolutely.
Yeah, but a lot of businesses ain't popping no more, man.
This
is a journey,
that
man.
PPP money ran out. They getting investigated now.
All I'm saying is I'm glad I did not apply for any. I'm glad I didn't apply for any Too many people got caught up with those. They are sitting down today, and
they're gonna be the prison babes.
But the real entrepreneurs wasn't
they didn't need it
off of PPP.
No.
I didn't need not a single loan.
I didn't even bother applying for mine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was brought to me, and I was like, I don't trust it. I'm sorry. I don't trust nothing free.
Something don't seem right
at all.
I don't want nothing free.
But I do want to ask. So when I don't know if you guys want to share. Like, are you in a relationship currently, or are you like entertaining things? But when you do get into a relationship, do you tend to hold it private, hold it sacred, or do you hide it, or are you open and upfront about everything, or do you take your time before you announce things? Like, how does that work for you? Especially because you guys are both pretty successful and visible to the public.
Right. Well, I believe in privacy, but not secrecy. Like, it's not a secret that I'm in a relationship, but it's very much like it's kind of like most celebrities. They'll share what you pay me for. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to necessarily share. You don't get me.
Right.
I tell people all the time, I'll share my business on social media, not my business.
Right.
So
I like that.
You know what I mean? So
I like that too.
I'm not going to put myself out there. And I made the mistake of, post-divorce, getting into a relationship and being like all out in the open with my relationship.
It was like, look at me now, nigga.
Like, hey,
look what you missed out on.
How you doing? And it was just like, because then it's also embarrassing when it don't work.
Right.
But then it also gives so much speculation. And me personally, I feel like the mistake I made in being too open with that is that because of the fact that I made him look good. Like, like for real, he was a lot more desirable.
Right.
Once you see that they're with somebody who ain't, a nobody type of situation. So I also kind of am like wary and skeptical a lot of times about that, because one thing we do know is we know women. What I'm saying? And they love something that
they can't obtain.
What was that comedian said?
Love to take another woman off.
I was gonna say. I was like that comedian said women will see a woman with another man that's really good and be like, or a man will see a woman that, like, they'll see their homeboy with the girl and they'll be like, dang, I want a girl like that one. I want one like that. And the woman would be like, I want that one.
Yes,
all the time.
They really do.
Right.
They really do.
Right.
And, a lot of times, especially because I say all the time, like, that's how women compete with other women. Is by being able to, like, whatever is like your source of happiness, I want to find a way to compromise that for you. So you have to be careful, especially if you are somebody who people are envious of or they feel a certain type of way about you. You got to be careful with that.
Right.
So that's why I say I believe in just privacy. Like, that's just my safe space.
Got it.
My part with I believe with I'm with Shadowboxx on that one. I don't believe in being secretive, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But privacy I respect.
Okay.
So my thing is this, you might not see her on social media, but you'll see us together when you see us.
Gotcha. Right.
I'm not hiding, but that's not what I'm promoting.
Gotcha.
Because becoming popular out here and successful, people find a way to try to use your name for energy and conversation. And so everybody wants to know about our personal lives.
Right.
They
That's that clout.
And how they gonna make it up.
You know how many girls come to me and be like, I wear your shirt, and it's like, you talk to David? And I'm like, everybody can't wear my shirt.
Because they wear your
everybody
shirt.
Can't. I swear to God.
Yeah, it's crazy how
like they trying to figure out who is this guy dating, who is this guy talking
Dang
to.
It, that's how it works. Let me put these Jordans back on. Hold on.
We go together now.
Social media is like they are real quick to put me with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At
one point you made a joke because you was like, girl, don't send it to me because now I'm going to be eating your box in a second.
Right,
like, because it was like they was putting you with everybody. Like, you couldn't even comment on something without somebody being like, oh, you talk? Like,
And then also you see some of the entrepreneurs in the city that do put their personal business on social media. You see they start to go into a zone to where they trying to distance themselves. They start to become destructive. They start saying crazy stuff.
I've seen a lot of that.
Because they're giving people the tools they need to destroy them.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Too much access.
And then they'll start to become depressed. You know what I mean?
I've seen that.
Yeah.
And like when they get to a certain level of status, they're not able to handle it. They're like, oh, I'm not used to this attention, and I like attention, but I'm not used to it, and now I've gone the wrong direction with it, and now I gotta shut my business down and go to therapy or go to treatment or whatever.
Because they didn't work on themselves.
Shut the whole down. I got counseling tonight.
Right. They don't fell into the social media then.
Right.
And forgot to be forgot who they were. you know.
Yeah, so privacy is a big part of your success as an entrepreneur, because if you don't have it, you know, like you'll have way more challenges in the public eye than you need. Everybody's looking for a reason to say your name outside of your business.
Right.
I know him. I went to school with him. I known him in 3rd grade. They be lying about what school he went to.
Right.
I was like, what school I go to then? I said, nah, I didn't go there, man.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not even from here. They be having whole stories, backstories.
Yeah, so everybody's trying to find that connection to something popular, something successful, because they don't want to build it up themselves, you know. And
that's real.
You know, and it's like, you know, women having always to come to me and say, hey, everybody think I'm talking to you because I wore your clothes. I'm like, well, did they ask you, was you dating Phil Knight?
Right.
That part.
What about Jordan?
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It's crazy, you know. And dudes is like, you can't wear his stuff no more. Don't wear his stuff. And like, why?
That's some.
And I'm not even thirsty though. So it's like I'm the last dude that's. She got you, man. Why would
It's the insecurity for me. I can't.
So it's not easy, man. It's stressful.
It is.
What's the craziest dating story you've had in relation to being an entrepreneur?
I don't necessarily want to say it's in relation to being an entrepreneur, but I have had some crazy dating stories. Stay tuned for the book, y'all. Okay, but no.
Yes.
I mean, I got invited to a Trailblazers game, and he had no tickets. He had no tickets.
What?
So,
wait, hold on. He invited you with no tickets?
I said, how you invite me to something you wasn't even invited to? Like, you know, I'm trying to understand how this works. He drove all the way down from Seattle.
Oh, shit.
Yes. We linked at a bar just to have
maybe I heard you wrong. I'm sorry. We need to back up a little bit. He invited you to a Blazer game
on a specific date,
with no tickets.
So I didn't know.
Okay.
So I didn't know there weren't no tickets, because it's an assumption for me. Like if I invite you to go to a concert, to an event, I have tickets. I have admission to get there. Right. Like it's a specific date.
Right.
We know how this works. So we first link at like a bar so we can have like the little pre-funk or whatever, kind of get to know each other. It was already immediately kind of a red flag because he was real upset about the fact that he had to pay a deposit for his room. And so that let me know he ain't never been nowhere. Because we all know that you have to drop a little something when you check into the room. So I'm like, okay, this is a little wary, you know what I mean? So then we take the Uber, you know what I mean? Because I parked my car, we take the Uber so we don't have to deal with parking.
Take Lyft.
Right. Now, see, this is a few years ago, but yeah, you know, anything involving Uber just ends up not being a good story at this point. So we get there and, you know, at this point, you know, I have to go to the bathroom and what my red flag, as soon as we get there, he was like, hey, so where do you think the scalpers be at? And I'm like, you don't got no tickets? Like, how you... First of all, and it's freezing. This is a December game.
Oh, no.
So it's too cold outside for us to be walking around this stadium.
Looking for somebody
who's
looking for tickets.
With 300 level seats.
Tickets? Do people scout
I feel like I see them sometimes over by the max.
They do. And I'm
like maybe for floor seats.
I'm always weary of it. I don't
Not
trust
even
it.
floor seats. I feel
because
like
sometimes
it'd be
it's a
300
setup.
level.
But you could get
and it's a setup usually
for like $35. So
you can get them for free from me. No,
right? No, for real.
Facts,
like you
right.
would. So we end up. I go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, handle your business. You need to go to the box office and figure your life out.
Right.
And I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to get your life together. So I come back and he's like, I got 2 tickets.
He said, hey, got 2 tickets.
Yeah. So we go in. Did you know that Moda Center has general admission tickets?
No, I did not.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Oh. Yes.
I found out that night that there's a such thing as general admission tickets. They're $15. Oh. And it's what it says. General admission. You have permission to have your ass in the building. That's it.
But no seat.
No seat. You don't got no seats.
Oh no!
So y'all had to go get you a burger and sit in little picnic tables out.
So I'm like, at this point, I'm hungry. You know, like, that's how I handle my stress. I'm hungry. So I was like, I'm gonna get me some nachos real quick, because I'm pissed.
Did you have to pay for it?
And my phone done died at this point. My phone, because I was ready to just go hop back in the Uber and get up at it. Right. So I'm like, I gotta figure out a game plan because my phone's dead. I can't escape. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm willing to walk to Fremont and Williams where my car is at for the Moda Center because I'm so annoyed. And then I hear him whisper my name. He's like, Charlisa. So I'm like, okay, he done figured it out. He done grabbed some folding chairs and got us in the aisles. And then I look around.
That's a whole fire hazard.
Right. But he also stole some seats from the Make-A-Wish kids. We're by the Make-A-Wish kids. Because I'm looking around like, why everybody looks sick?
Oh, so little Timmy was about to die.
Little Timmy was about to die. You took little Timmy's.
Oh no!
Why everybody looks sick? Everybody here looks unhealthy. What are we doing? They ain't gonna make it to tomorrow, and we done took Timmy.
Oh my god!
So I eventually end up. This woman is able to get an Uber for me. Because at this point I'm done.
Damn.
Like I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
That is interesting.
Yeah, and I end up leaving, and he was like, I didn't know that I was trying to date Beyonce. I was like, I didn't know that I have unrealistic standards because I want you to at least have tickets for something you invited me to. Like,
damn, Tyrone Biggums.
I didn't know I was dating no dirty bastard.
Right. You're taking the cab to get your food stamps.
Right.
David, what about you?
Nah, I don't really have no stories, man. I don't really do.
We're the ones that are subjective.
Yeah, I don't do like dudes used to do the weird stuff. I mean, I've taken a few girls on dates, but you know, we go to 5-star hotels and wine vineyards and things like that. So I don't do that stuff.
I feel like I hear a little bit of stunting right now.
I think
we'd have been on the flow, man.
Just a little bit. Oh, stunt.
No, I remember.
But
see what I'm saying? This is back when we were still dating for potential.
But women don't take men out on dates that much.
Not true. You know, that's not true.
I done definitely.
That's not true.
Well, I haven't been taken out.
It's not tricking if you got it.
I definitely have dropped big money at a cigar lounge.
I have absolutely done. Yeah, if
I take on dates. Yeah,
I'll blow back.
And if I invite you out, I pay. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's interesting.
No.
Oh no, you're like.
I just gave the suggestion. You're still paying for it.
I can't stand your ass.
No,
I've taken on dates. I've taken and I've paid.
So I feel like, if dude has paid for maybe, let's say, 2 or 3 of our dates,
Got it. Yeah.
I'm like, let me treat you.
Right.
Because I don't like to feel one-sided.
Okay,
I don't want it to be.
I'm not saying not your first date. No. First date.
No, not a first date.
Yeah.
Not a first date.
Got a punch card or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Buy 4, get the first date free.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy 3, get 1 free. That's where we're
at.
Oh yeah, but I'll drop some money. I'm like, you have literally spent over $200 between the last 3 dates of us just going and doing stuff.
Absolutely.
So let me take you where we going tonight. You know,
right? I'll definitely do that. But it's because we're dating.
Yeah.
At this point,
right. No,
not the first one, especially if he asked you. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I have had people do that. To where I'm just like, what? Like, you know what I mean? As far as they'll be like, but you got it.
Yeah.
Type of situation. And I'm like,
because all entrepreneurs are rich and have all the money in the world to blow because you don't have a boss. Like that's weird to me. That thought process is so weird because I hear that a lot. Be like, oh, well, they got it because they dress nice because they're promoting their business, or they do things because they're promoting their business. Do you know how much that costs?
Exactly.
Like,
it's a tax write-off. Right. You better make that a business date and write that whole date on the tax write-off. Then talk a little business.
That part.
Write it off.
That part. I love this conversation. I feel like we could continue this for a long time. We may have to have y'all back.
Yes.
But I love it. Nick B, what takeaways did you have today?
My biggest takeaway, and I even wrote it down, it said, fall in love with action, not words.
I love it.
That was,
That's what's
I love
up.
that. That's my takeaway.
Did y'all have any takeaways for today?
It's hard out here for us. It's hard out here. Somebody help. Like, for real. It's hard to be focused. It's hard to be driven, you know, but I mean, entrepreneurs make the world go around. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we're necessary, but, I definitely feel like having the opportunity for people to see the intimate part of our lives, as far as like it's not always easy, and we're not just arrogant and like we
this one might be a little arrogant.
No, they put us like that. I know I'm not.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm nice, baby.
Yeah, we're definitely.
David already said that he's dropping racks on his date.
I'm saying.
If I invite,
can we go on a friend date?
If I invite a woman out, man, like I'm just going out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't invite a lot of women out. But the times that I have, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do something.
You have to
I'm gonna do something dope.
That's
you know, I'm
facts.
gonna take you out to the water and do a beachfront. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna do, a wine yard and get a dope hotel and let you just vibe out. You know, spa, whatever. But I don't do it often.
Because he knows how to date according to his way.
But I don't date a lot.
Right.
But if I ask, I gotta make it happen. You know, I don't. That's all I'm saying. I ain't
so what
showing,
you're
I'll be
saying
showing
you're not
off
gonna
like
ask
that.
someone and then scout tickets later.
No.
You ain't gonna scout no tickets?
No, I might give her a ticket in a different section I'm in, but we gonna go. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm kidding.
No,
She be 300, I'm in 1.
Okay,
Oh my gosh, you on the floor, she up there waving from the top.
binoculars.
But no, I just feel like if you ask, you gotta do the right thing and have it set up right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I'm not gonna ask no low quality woman on no date anyway. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I want her to feel like she's quality.
Yeah. Right.
I definitely feel that. I
you know
think
what I'm
that's
saying?
the thing too. You have to date like read the room a
right.
little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like I've done. I think that's what my takeaway was from that date is like you definitely miscalculated me because for me to be the caliber woman that I am, for you to not
think
try
that was okay, right?
Exactly.
At all, then that's what was more offensive than anything.
I get it. Well, y'all, we got more stories and more things coming up. Where can they find you?
I mean, you can find me in the streets, baby.
Like I
be at home with my bonnet on. I be lying. No, you can definitely check me out on Instagram as Shadowboxx. You can also check me out on Facebook, Charlisa Shadowboxx Harris, or also Mylani Beauty and Vegan Haircare.
I love it. David, where can they find you?
At the new Stackin Kickz headquarters at the Lloyd Center, next to my bro Joe Brown.
All right.
Find me online, stackinkicks.com, Stackin no G, Kickz with a Z at the end, no S.
Yes.
Instagram at Stackin Kickz, and Facebook Stackin Kickz Clothing.
I love it. Nick B.
Don't look for my personal name, though, because I ain't got no more room.
He said his wait list is long.
It's long.
Right.
Okay.
So I can be found on Facebook and Instagram under Nicole Leigh. And of course, you can reach me on all of our platforms with Dirty Roses Podcast.
All right. And y'all can check me out, LaRie, on every single platform. It don't change. LeighlaRie. And go follow us, go like us, join the conversation because we carry these shenanigans online too, and it gets real raunchy sometimes. But make sure you go and subscribe to our podcast on all major platforms, and we will catch y'all next week. Thank you.